So we're just arguing back and forth with this guy for probably about 5 minutes, right? And I happen to look up because he's facing the Airbnb. We're facing him, which is facing the street. And I happen to look up while we're still talking or whatever, still arguing about it. And here comes two Colombian police officers, Cartagena police officers, riding down the street on like mopeds or motorbikes. Hey you guys, it's your girl Kelsey Janae. Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, I am here with a short story time. And I am going to actually just jump right into the story, no lollygagging. So this actually happened 2 years ago. A group of us went to Cartagena, Colombia in South America. And mind you guys, we had a great time on this trip. I planned this trip and I'm actually thinking about maybe going back. I don't know, when all borders start opening back up and all this coronavirus stuff is over, possibly, maybe not Cartagena, maybe another city in Colombia. But I really enjoy Colombia. I love the beach. I love the atmosphere. I like the shopping, the prices, the food. I like the history of it. I like the Africanness of it, the Afro-Caribbean-ness of it. And we just really had a really good time. We didn't have too much craziness going on except for, of course, this story. And I'm going to go ahead and say that in the beginning, we should have there's just a few things that we should have done differently that may have, avoided the situation. But, things happen. So, like I said, I'm not going to lollygag too much. Let me go ahead and go right into the story. So, I can't remember exactly which day it was that this happened, but we were in Cartagena for a couple of days, over a weekend. And I was saying, I can't remember exactly which day it was that this happened, but I do remember it was at nighttime, y'all. And what we did is, Cartagena has like a walled city. And this city, it literally has like a wall around it. It's like a protected wall that they had, back in slavery days and back in the time when, this was an establishing city. And they had, they had goods that other countries and other places in the world wanted to take. So they had to protect themselves. They built a wall. If you ever go there, you can see like parts of this wall. You can see there's like holes where they had like cannons and all this other stuff. It was a tour. We did a tour and we ended up, yeah, it was definitely a tour, because at the very end of the tour, we ended up at like this museum that showed like their emeralds. Cartagena is very, very popular for their very nice and beautiful emerald jewels. And we went to this tour, and the very last part of the tour was this museum. And at the end, it was just like, like a free fall. Like the tour bus wasn't going to take us back to our location. It's like, you do whatever you want to do. So we ended up staying in the city, and we walked around a little bit. I believe we ate. And it came to be about maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. The city's still popping. They got clubs up and running and stuff like that. People in the streets, restaurants still serving food. And, we got tired. So I was like, okay, we get ready to go back to our Airbnb. We stayed in an Airbnb in an area called Boca Grande. And Boca Grande was literally like a strip. It's like a little area. And it's like literally like right down the street from the walled city. It's like a nice little drive. Maybe a 3 to 5 minute drive from the walled city. So like I was saying, me and my group, it was me, my little sister, her friend, and my cousin. So we were going to go ahead and go back to our Airbnb. And we was thinking like, no, it's gonna be too long of a walk, because it's still a nice little street. It's a long little street or whatever. So we were thinking either to get a Uber or either a cab. And mind you, actually Uber is not really legal in Colombia and Cartagena. Well, at the time it wasn't. So in order to get an Uber, like it had to be like somebody really like on the street, like, look, I need me some money, let me Uber real quick. But we looked and it was like literally no cars available, and it was like I said, like 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock at night. There were no cars available. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to catch a cab. So we walked around a little bit, and we walked to the very edge of the walled city, and there was a guy that was standing there next to his cab, and you know, he hardly spoke English. But he was like, hey, you guys, you know, he was trying to tell us, you know, you guys need a ride or whatever. And we like, yeah, we need a ride or whatever. And we were like, you know, how much would it cost? We're just going down the road to Boca Grande. And he was like he was saying like three or $4 or something like that, just to go or whatever. So we like, okay, whatever, cool. And that's in USD. Because you know, normally everything you have to, you know, transfer your money down there. They have Colombian pesos. So, but he was telling us it would be like, you know, like $3 or $4 or whatever in USD currency. So we're like, okay, cool, whatever. We'll get in this cab real quick, and we'll ride on down Boca Grande. It's not that long of a ride. It's, you know, it's all of us. We're cool. You know, we feel safe. Let's go. It's a cab. You know, there's a million cabs here. This is how a lot of people in Cartagena make money, by driving cabs. So, okay, we like, cool, whatever. And we got in. Me, my sister, and her friend got in the back seat, and my cousin got in the front. And my cousin handed this man this money in Colombian pesos. So, and I literally sat there and watched her give him the money. So, you know, we get in the car, we ride, he turns left, and on the street, we were literally at the very edge of the city, y'all. We didn't have to drive through it or anything. We were on the edge. All he had to do was turn left onto the main road and head down the road down the road to Boca Grande. So we ride and we ride. Like I said, it was literally like a 3 to 5 minute drive. And then we riding, enjoying the scenery. Very beautiful night. Had the windows down. You know, on this side of the road, it's all the beautiful buildings. On this side of the road, it's the ocean, it's the beach. That's like, the street is like right there on the beach. So, you know, we're rolling. We get there, and he pull up, and our Airbnb had a roundabout that you go in and you can, you know, roundabout, drive back out. So he pulled in, and he parked the car on the outside part of the roundabout. On the inside part was near the door for the Airbnb, but and it wasn't a house. It was like in a very, very tall apartment building. It had condos or whatever. People own these condos and they rented them out for Airbnbs. So he parked this is a circle. This is where the door is, and this is where the car parked on this side. So we're getting out or whatever, and then he got our attention. Mind you, he don't barely speak any English, but he's speak enough to, you know, be able to speak to tourists. So, you know, he said, you guys, that'll be 40 USD. And we looking at each other like, what? He said, yeah, it'd be 40 USD. We're like, excuse me, you said it'll be like $3 or $4, and my cousin literally paid you. No, you guys, you rode around in the city with me, it'll be 40 USD. We said, what? No, we're not paying that. We're not paying that. So we're basically like arguing back and forth with this dude. Like, we already paid you. We're not paying you anything extra. And we're definitely not going to pay you $40 when you told us it'll be $3 or $4, which we already paid you. So we're just arguing back and forth with this guy for probably about 5 minutes, right? And I happen to look up, because he's facing the Airbnb. We're facing him, which is facing the street. And I happen to look up while we're still talking or whatever, still arguing about it. And here comes two Colombian police officers, Cartagena police officers, riding down the street on like mopeds or motorbikes or whatever, because a lot of people in Cartagena have motorbikes. A lot of people don't have cars. They said the cars are very, very expensive, like overly expensive, so a lot of people ride bikes. So the cops came down the road, and I guess they saw the commotion or heard the commotion. We weren't loud or anything, but you could tell, like, if you were walking down the street, you could tell that there were people arguing in this area, right? So they came pulling up, and I said, oh, good, here comes the cops, maybe they can help us. And then my sister gonna say, no, we don't need no cops over here. I'm not trying to get arrested in no foreign country. And I'm just thinking, like, to myself, like, arrested for what? Like, we didn't do anything. We just need somebody to mediate this conversation and let them know that we're not getting ready to pay this guy an extra 40 freaking USD. So they come over, and mind you, they speak a little bit more English than the cab driver. And they come over, you know, like, what's going on? What's wrong? We tell our side of the story. Then he tells his side of the story. And mind you, at the same time, my sister Fran, she had a Google Translator up on her phone. So every time, you know, they would say something, sorry, that's my phone going off. Every time they would say something, it would translate or whatever. And when he told his story, he said the same thing that he said to us. I took these girls all around the walled city, and then I drove them back here. They owe me $40. And, you know, we told our story. No, we did not. We were on a tour. We left that tour after they dropped us off, where they said they were going to drop us off at that museum, and the museum was over with. The tour was over with, and we walked around the city for a little bit. We got tired. We went in the cab. We walked to the end of the walled city. We got in the cab, and he drove us down the street to Boca Grande. So they're like looking back and forth at us, not knowing who to believe. Now, here is where I realized the first mistake that we made, and what the cops didn't even catch and we didn't even think of at the time. I thought about it way later. I didn't realize that this man, when we got in the car, he did not turn his meter on. You know, the cab meter. So what could have happened is if he would have turned that meter on, or if we would have made him turn that meter on, it would have been proof that, you know, we totally did not do what he said we did, and, you know, here's our proof, let us go, or whatever. But like I said, I didn't think about that until after the fact, and it really had dawned on me after the fact that this man did not turn his meter on purpose. He was planning on doing this from the very get-go. So, like I was saying, the cops didn't ask for this information. We weren't thinking about this information. We were just, you know, hoping that the cops would think like, okay, these girls are telling this story, they seem fine, they're just tourists or whatever, and this probably happens all the time. So like we're telling our story, he's telling his story. The cops are sitting there looking like we don't know who the heck to believe. And then out comes the guy that was manning the desk at the Airbnb. There's a person that's always sitting behind the desk at the Airbnb building. And he comes out and he speaks just a little bit more Spanish than the cops. So he comes out and he tries to be, I guess, the translator or whatever. And we tell our story again. The cabbie tells his story again. And this time, my sister's friend, she was like, yeah, my phone get ready to die or whatever. So that, you know, we can't really have the Google Translator for long. And so we're just, you know, still talking. Everybody trying to explain what's going on. The cops still looking like, we don't know who to believe. The guy at the desk didn't know who to believe. So my sister Fran, she looked at her phone one more time, and this is why the cabbie was talking. And she looked down and she said, I know this MFer did not, and she didn't curse, but basically, you know, I know this MFer did not just say what I think he just said. And everybody stopped and looked at her like, what do you mean? He said, this cab driver just called us ghetto. And we like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? I know this bastard did not just try to lie on us, and then you're gonna sit up here and call us ghetto. You got your nerve. You got your daggone nerve. And I'm not gonna curse. You got your daggone nerve. So we get to arguing again, and the cop's like, okay. Everybody, stop talking. This is what you're gonna do. They went over to the cab driver. Sir, get back in your car. Get back in your car. And we're gonna talk to them. Get back in your car. So we're like, oh my God, maybe they don't believe us. Something's bad about to happen or whatever. So he get back in his car, and the cops come back over and talk to us. He's like, look, we believe y'all. Just go ahead and go inside. We gonna let this man know that he shouldn't be doing this to get on about his business. So we're like, okay. Thank goodness. So the guy that was manning the station, the desk or whatever, went back inside, and we just like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe this has happened to us. So we start walking off or whatever. We say the cops go back over and tell the driver to basically drive off, going by this night. I mean, we didn't really hear exactly what they were saying, but he ended up leaving or whatever. and we went back into our Airbnb, you know, got ready to go to sleep and all that. And I mean, man, we were peeved. I think the next day we were all like really extremely upset about what happened, especially my cousin. She was just like, I cannot believe that happened to us. We were pissed. We were pissed. But like I was saying at the beginning, there were some things that I think that we should have, you know, we could have done differently that may have avoided that. I'm not putting all the fault on us. Like, that dude should not have done that to us. We're tourists. We don't know this city. Like, why would you try to scam us out of extra money or whatever? But what I also remember, when we first got there and we were checking into the Airbnb, the lady behind the desk, she was telling us, you know, how to get toiletries and all the other stuff and what to do. She said, if you ever need a cab, don't call one off the street. Don't ever hail one off the street. Call us and we will call you a cab. We will call you a cab. And when I remembered that she said that, I was like, man, you know, we should have done that. Like, why did we not listen to her? And at the same time, I was also, that's when I remember, like, this dude did not turn his meter on. He did this on purpose. He was gonna scam us on purpose. Why did we not make him turn his meter on? What is going through our minds? But anyway, that was so freaking crazy, y'all. We were like so scared. I thought we was gonna get in trouble. Like, why would this dude try to do this to us? Like, dude, I know the next time we did ride around, we end up calling an Uber. We did use an Uber driver, which was awesome. It was pretty nice, a very nice driver. We did actually end up using the cab again, but we made sure we did it right this time. And that's when we were going back to the airport from the Airbnb. The people at the desk called the cab for us. When we got in the cab, I turned my recorder on my phone and I made sure I recorded the entire ride. I'm like, we not finna let this stuff happen to us again. These cabbies out here be tripping. Are you freaking kidding me? But yeah, that's my story, y'all. Like, we like totally thought we were gonna be in trouble. Like, we thought we were going to get like arrested in a foreign country, and you know how that goes. You've seen videos of people getting arrested in another country. That crap is scary. It's scary. But anyway, that's my story, y'all. That's all I got. That's something that would not keep me from going to Cartagena again or any other foreign country. You know, there's always going to be people that are going to try to scam you, especially if you're a tourist and they know you're not from there. They know you're not from there. They're going to try to get you. Just be careful. Listen to what people tell you. Listen to all the tips. You know, you might be having fun. There may be some things that you forgot, like we did. We forgot some of the tips. Listen, write them down, put them somewhere where you can remember, so you would not have to go through what we went through. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for listening to my story, and I hope that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And will you, of course, hit that subscribe button. Please hit the bell so that when I post any videos, you'll be notified. So I just want to thank you guys again for watching. Deuces.